Roland Mumford with Mumford.law. I did a previous video about police takedowns causing severe head trauma. We have another case, an example of a police officer in Alaska taking down a man who was at most passively resisting. He does a full takedown. The man's head hits the asphalt, hits the ground so hard, I believe he's knocked unconscious. He's transported to a regional hospital. The head trauma or the brain trauma is so severe that he then had to be medevaced to Seattle. That's how serious of a head injury this would be if you had to be medevaced from Alaska to Seattle. We're going to take a look at this video and you'll see what we're discussing. What this arose out of apparently was, I believe, in front of like a library or some city building. A lady apparently had been making some racist comments about a black gentleman, that he shouldn't have been there and so forth. She allegedly threw some water on him. And this other gentleman that was the victim of this takedown apparently was with her. It's not clear in the news articles or the reports what activity he was involved with in terms of the racially charged conduct. The lady, as you can see in the video to the left in the first police car, she's taken into custody, and she apparently makes some comments to this other gentleman, the victim of the takedown, to continue to harass the guy. There's no evidence that he did, but I don't know whether he did or not. The news reports say that this gentleman approached the police in an aggressive manner, but that's not shown in the video. The officer clearly takes him into custody. He's up against the police car. You don't see anything in this video that would be deemed as active resistance to justify the use of force of a takedown. Maybe he's moving his shoulders a little bit. Very oftentimes when these officers are trying to handcuff people, they seem to forget about the body mechanics of the shoulder and the elbows and the wrists and so forth. Or maybe the guy is just kind of tensing up. And these police just automatically go from 0 to 60 and then do a takedown, causing these severe head injuries rather than using much lesser force or using lesser than lethal force, such as tasing or some other form of physical restraint, not to the extreme of a takedown. There has to be legislation about these takedowns because numerous people are having severe head injuries, brain trauma, TBI, etc., with the heads hitting the ground where there was absolutely no reason to do so. If you apply the 3 or 4 major Graham factors, remember the Graham v. Connor factors, that's what the courts look at to determine whether there was excessive force. They look at the totality of the circumstances involving what was the nature of the charge. Well, the lady had been arrested for disorderly conduct, so presumably at worst, this gentleman would have been arrested for disorderly conduct for some maybe juvenile behavior or some racially charged conduct towards this black gentleman. I don't know how serious his conduct was towards the black gentleman, and that's uncalled for. We don't support racism, obviously. Then you look at the level of force used amongst the totality of the circumstances, the conduct alleged, and the circumstances. Was he fleeing? And so forth. Absolutely uncalled for. Let's take a look at this video.
Tonight, this video raising questions just hours after Juneau police released a statement saying a man sustained a head injury while they say he was resisting arrest.
Tonight, a Juneau police officer is on administrative leave. That follows what department leaders describe as a 49-year-old man resisting arrest and being, quote, taken to the ground.
Justin Matson tells us tonight that video is circling online and has caused many in Juneau to ask questions. Justin, what do we know?
Yeah, we have tried repeatedly since last night to ask Juneau police about the video in question. They have not returned our request for comment, but it appears to show the same events police describe in multiple news releases. A warning, some of what you will see may be disturbing. You'll see a woman being arrested before the incident with the man.
What am I? It's all the evidence right here. All right here. Put your hand behind your back right now. Y'all ain't gonna be talking about black people no more. Woo!
Again, Juneau police have not answered questions about the authenticity of this video tonight. We do not have an update on the man's condition. All police have said is he sustained a head injury and had to be medevaced to Anchorage. Police say the incident started outside the Douglas Library. They say they arrested a woman identified as Marissa Didrikson. Police say she threw water onto a man while making racist comments. Then, as she was being arrested, officers say she told her friend, who police say was eventually taken down, to, quote, take care of the man. Police say she directed racist comments at As he was placed in custody, police say he resisted arrest, and that's why he was taken down. Alaska's Tlingit and Haida Indian tribes saying in part of a statement, they are saying, quote, "We are deeply concerned about a recent incident involving the Juneau Police Department and one of our tribal citizens. Based on what has been shared by witnesses and community members, the level of force used during the arrest raises serious questions and demands a full, transparent investigation." That statement does not mention what tribal citizens they are talking about, but they say they've asked to meet with Juneau Mayor Beth Weldon and Police Chief Derek Voss. Again, police have not returned our repeated request for comment. We will keep you updated. Justin Matson, Alaska's news source.
So apparently, as you can see from the news report, this apparently was a tribal member, a local Native American tribe, had some very serious concerns in their public statement, which I thought was quite measured. I thought they would have been a lot more upset about that. As you can see in the video, the officer was telling him to put his hands behind his back. So it sounds like there was just some minimal passive resistance. You can see in the video that the man is not moving around. He's not trying to flee. You don't see any kind of substantial physical movement when he's up against the car and the officer is behind him. Plus, there's a second police officer right there. We got to have legislation reforming these takedowns. Have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video.